Right, Sally, his excuse today, he just had a baby. I'm sorry, his wife had a baby. Kayla, Mason, Zachary, Crampton, Riley, Riley, yeah, Jillian, here's Val, not here, Katie, Dakota, Dawson, here's Olivia, Nate, oh, okay, Mandy, Sharon, and Austin, not here. People may have been affected by the sign on the door. They left it off from Monday. Either they were wishing that I wouldn't get well enough, or they forgot. I mean, I'm still a little bit not 100%. Dehydration at my age is not easy, and I'm putting that politely. I mean, I didn't have any fever or anything, but had I come to class, I probably would have had to take bathroom breaks every 15, 20 minutes. I don't want you to call me shitty professor for the wrong reasons. Apparently, there's some sort of stomach bug going around. I mean, I couldn't keep anything down. Water, coffee, solids, didn't matter. As soon as I had the intake, 15 minutes later, output. All right. Uh, we started talking about cost of capital last time, and we talked mostly about how to get the cost of debt, either through bonds that are already existing, or if such bonds didn't exist, or price information of such bonds were not reliable, getting the cost of debt for similar firms using the bond ratings or credit ratings for the firm. Today we're going to talk about uh, cost of equity, and generically we're going to view this as expected return on the stock. And for this purpose, we're going to talk about capital assets pricing models, or in general, asset pricing models. Which are models that express the expected return on a stock based on certain factors. And asset pricing models vary in terms of what sort of factors they possess. But before talking about factors, generically, we will write expected return or return in general as a combination of systematic factors and unsystematic factors. So return for a given asset, we're going to write that as, let's call that BI times S plus UI, where S, this multiplication that I have over there, you can think of that as kind of potentially a dot product is a collection of systematic factors, and we're going to define what that means. For Austin, we'll take half a day off. And BI is a collection of coefficients for each of those systematic factors. And UI is the unsystematic or the return due to unsystematic factors. Where expected value of UI is 0. Basically, this is a surprise or return due to unsystematic surprises. And more importantly, the assumption that those unsystematic returns have a 0 expectation is without any loss of generality. If it has positive expectation, we could always send it to, actually, let's just leave it like that. More importantly, unsystematic component of the assets are uncorrelated. Now let's define further systematic factors. These are known or hidden variables that affect all asset returns to some extent. And they vary around due to systematic surprises. Which are unexpected events and or information that affects a large number of assets. For example, the Friday before the spring break, we got the news that Fed closed Silicon Valley Bank. Such news was a complete surprise to the market. And did it affect only Silicon Valley Bank stock? No, obviously it affected that, but it also affected a lot of banking stocks. More importantly, it affected pretty much the entire market because everybody is exposed to risks that are involved due to such an event. Because at that point, we don't know. Maybe this is going to create a systemic run on the banking sector. Maybe it's not. But if it does, there's not going to be a single firm that's not going to be affected by it. I mean, it is somewhat contained, but still it's going to create a mild credit crunch at a minimum. So it affects everybody. Last Wednesday, there was a meeting of the Fed. Fed increased the rates by 25 basis points, which was kind of expected. But had they not increased or increased 50 basis points, that would have been an unexpected event, right? Or a surprise. Is there any company that you can think of that's not going to be affected by a move like that? Positive or negative? Everybody's going to be affected. So the kind of surprises that influences either all or a very large number of assets are called systematic surprises. Unsystematic surprises affect only a single firm or a very small set of firms. You know, I don't remember when, but back in early 2010s, Apple announced that Steve Jobs had terminal pancreatic cancer. I mean, more often than not, pancreatic cancer is terminal anyway. First year survival rate is only 5%. Would that have any effect whatsoever on Coke or Pepsi? No,